Alright, so I've been redoing this window here in the kitchen too, and it's a little bit different than some of the others because I got wallpaper in here. And the only way really to do it is going to be to remove the wallpaper. But fortunately what I've done is saved from the same lot rolls of this wallpaper that I've put in my kitchen a while back. So hopefully I can take this down, take these sheets down at the seams, which I don't know if it'll show up on the camera, but there's a seam right here. The plan is to take it down at the seams and then just put new back over it, but going around the window frame here since the window's a little bit different. So, I have to remove the existing wallpaper first, and to do that we're gonna mist everything down, and I've misted it several times already. I'm actually also going to mist the painted wall surface here too, repeatedly several times. I've already done it once. I'll do it at least 2 or 3 more times to really get moisture soaked into the wall, because I'm going to also strip off the texture here on the wall and then run when I go back with wallpaper, I'm going to run it all the way down underneath the window too, all the way up to the dishwasher here. So to get the wallpaper to absorb more moisture anyway, I'm just going to lightly score the wall. Very likely I'm going to have to redo the surface behind this whole area anyways. It doesn't matter if you cut into the wall a little bit too much. Just want to get that moisture to absorb quickly behind all the wallpaper. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to actually go ahead and over here where I'm going to be removing the texture, I'm just going to go ahead and score the wall slightly here as well, just so the moisture has good pathway behind the paint layers and everything else, and get on back and start softening all this material up. So I'm just going to lightly score everything like this, a little crisscross pattern. Like I say, you don't have to worry about it. You're going to have to totally refinish this whole wall to get it perfectly smooth anyway for the wallpaper. So if you dig a little too deep along in here, score all the wallpaper where it's going to be removed. Let it absorb moisture better. I just want to show that removing wallpaper should be easy if you're patient. So, you know, it works really well to remove the outer layer. Sometimes it pulls both layers off together if the water's had time to soak in. But then when you remove that outer layer of the wallpaper and then squirt it down again and then give it time to soften up the glue, it comes off really easy, just with a large flat knife. This is not a sharp knife either, and I'm not using any force at all. So I'm not digging down into my wall or anything like that. Once I get going, I'm aggressive with the water bottle and gentle with the knife. Just if there's a spot that's dry, just don't even try. Full of cliches or cheap rhymes or whatever, but this stuff comes off easy if you're doing it right. If there's a dry spot, just stop and squirt. If you have enough water on here, you can actually squeegee the extra moisture off as you're getting the last of the paper. And most of the glue, which I don't know if you can see that goopy stuff running down the knife there, most of the glue will come off with the excess water when you kind of like squeegee it off. So you have very little left on your walls to scrub off with soap and water. A couple more notes. Clean your floor quickly because the fallen wallpaper will re-stick. I'm switching to a rag now and nice warm water. And before things have a chance to dry, I'm just going to be scrubbing the wall down. Just give it a good wipe down. And the goal being to remove any paper that might be there left or glue. And you can kind of feel the glue. When you hit the glue, it gets kind of slimy and slippery. There's still chunks of paper up there that you'll never see. You know, you're never going to get it all at once. It blends in. But the rag gets it pretty good. You can kind of feel it when you're going over it with your hands and the strips of glue and whatnot. better to get to this step quickly while everything's still moist. Especially if it's a hot summer day like today, everything dries out fast. Okay, been spraying this thing down the whole time. We've been working on the other stuff. You see some of the places where it was scored, how it did absorb the moisture and it's coming off faster there. And the other areas, I'm just concentrating on getting some of the high points knocked off. And basically what you're trying to do is get behind the paint. So, you know, you just get the bumps knocked off with some of the paint and then squirt it. And then moisture will absorb into the texture material underneath, soften it up, and then it'll just make everything come off easier. Like it does right here where we had some good score marks and got a lot of absorption of moisture. So anyways, so just knock the bumps off now. Don't worry about it if it's too hard to deal with, and just spray it down some more and then give it more time to absorb that moisture. It'll just make your job easier. There's no reason to rush. Just go drink a beer or something, man. You know what I'm saying? Alright, bye. Once you finally get enough moisture in the stuff behind the paint, large sections of the texture will scrape right off without much force. So you kind of know when it's not going well when it starts turning brown, like this spot right here. I've actually torn and started tearing into the paper just a little bit, the paper of the drywall. That's kind of not good. Try not to do that any more than you have to, although it may be somewhat inevitable. Alright, it's all done, and at this point it needs to dry, and then I will sand off any kind of frizzly edges where the paper is. You can see wherever it's brown, I got a little too close, got a little bit too much off, but that's okay. Just need to sand it down a little bit, get the paper smoothed off, and these whole areas here will be covered with a light coating of joint compound and sanded many times to get it perfectly smooth, and then sealed with a layer of paint, a nice sealer, which will make it easy to get the wallpaper off in the future. And I will show you in the next video how to wrap the wallpaper around these edges. It's pretty straightforward, except you will have to use a little scrap up in the corners, but it's still gonna look nice, don't worry. You know, if it gets really bad, you can retape it and, you know, add a whole bunch more texture in a smooth way as we prepare this for drywall, or as we prepare this for wallpaper. That's the goal of this, by the way. Not just removing the texture for fun. Try to get a nice smooth wall here for putting wallpaper in my kitchen. I'm not worried too much about it if I get if I take out some of the paper. You know, don't want to do it any more than I have to, but still, I'm not gonna lose sleep over it because, you know, I can just I'm gonna have to put a thin coat of joint compound over this whole area anyway. So, you know, and sand it down, and it takes a little bit of work. Actually, I'd say a little bit more work to get a wall ready for wallpaper than it does just to get it ready to paint. In fact, anytime I've ever hired a wallpaper guy to come in, he pretty much refinished the wall anyway, because they're kind of snooty about normal drywall crew work. To make the wallpaper look good, it does have to be perfectly smooth. So I don't mind. Boy, I tell you what, he was expensive, and while he did good work, I don't think I would ever pay someone to do wallpaper again. It's one of those things, yeah, definitely learn how to do it yourself. And you'll be financially ahead. Right, shutting the camera off so I can finish this.